This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN-TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Now, quantum physics to metaphysics with life in between. Here's your host, medical intuitive and vibrational healer, Patti Conklin.
Hi everyone, this is Patti Conklin with Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between. This is a show that helps marry science and spirituality and everything in between. How do we live life? It's an exciting show and I'm happy to be able to bring it to you. Today's guest is Ken Elliott, and Ken is an artist, a fantastic artist. He's also an author of Manifesting 1, 2, and You Don't Need the 3. And he's been Amazon #1 and a couple of awards, and he is someone who way back when, 20 years ago, I met and started doing work together and just been a good friend, but it's exciting to see him just launching in his own world now and people just flocking to it. So Ken, thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks for having me on the show, and it's wonderful to have Mr. Keaton on the dials, taking care of business.
Taking care of our engineering, we got that going well. And the three of us, I think the three of us probably were doing a program about 17 years ago. So what has happened, my friend, in the last 20 years? You've just gone just massive. What's life been like with the release of your book and your artwork's been taking off?
Well, it's been steady. You know, when we met, and it was probably 25 years ago or more. It started when I first met Judy Goodman. I just started having these experiences and interesting dreams, and started reading and sneaking in and out of metaphysical bookstores, trying to figure out what was happening to me. And didn't talk a lot with other people about it, but I came across Judy, and it was meant to be. And I learned from a stranger that she's very, very gifted. And that if I sent her something in thought, she would get it. I thought that was a little crazy. And as it turns out, you're supposed to meet the people you're supposed to meet when you're in whatever kind of work it is. It could be medicine or firefighting or metaphysics, whatever. And so I was supposed to meet William Buhlman. I did. We became very fast friends. And he made an offhand remark one time about sometimes he goes to the other side. He's the out-of-body expert.
Right.
And he would see his thoughts just arrayed over there, these things on his wish list, taking form. And I thought that was kind of nutty. And but, you know, if he says it's so, it's so. And if he put it on his list and had been on the list for a short period of time, it would look like a wisp of smoke over there. Anything he'd been working on for weeks or months, it was getting more and more close to what looks like solid physical object over there, and it would come over into our world.
Right.
Well, I didn't realize how terribly important that is. This is just a guy pal who had something to say, a nice story. I was getting so many Shaggy Dog metaphysical stories, you know. We stopped talking about them. We have hundreds. And then I met you, Patti, and often the three of us would travel together, go together, and Judy would be lecturing, and you'd sit next to me, and you were so good to me because you would prompt me to try to help me become more psychic. And I'm getting around to your question, how have things been going? And give us some background because it's fascinating. And at the time, Judy would lecture on a stage in a hotel, about 50, 60 people in there or more. And I knew I could make things by thinking of them, and you could see it happen. You were that gifted. And Judy could see that too. William Buhlman had to go to the other side to see it. But while broad daylight, you could watch the stuff take form. So I would set up, and I haven't talked about this before on the radio. I tell a lot of friends about it. Didn't put it in the book because I didn't have your permission to do so, but I'm letting it loose now.
Yeah.
Because this is terribly important. And so I would imagine, I would just think of putting pots of purple tulips and line them up on the floor in front of the stage where Judy spoke.
Uh-huh.
And I did that a couple of times. You're right next to me, and I said, can you see the things I'm making? And you would tell me what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just the coolest thing. And it was just a game for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate the level of your giftedness, and I didn't appreciate what I was able to do. As it turns out, we all do this. That's the reason for this program. And then one time, I was getting pretty cocky about this because whatever I would think, you could see it happen. And so Judy's up there speaking one time, and I thought, I'm going to go for the room. It's a bigger room. So I'm putting up these Roman columns in my mind and swagging the fabric across the ceiling and putting in the tulips and all that kind of stuff. And I asked if you saw anything, and you, no, I don't see anything. And I thought, well, what's wrong with the frequency here today? And so later, that night we all got together, and I told Judy what I was making. And we'll pick this story up after your pause, because this is a great story.
Okay, because I remember that situation. So, yeah, I want to pick that up after our break. So, folks, this is Patti Conklin with Quantum Physics to Metaphysics, and I've got Ken Elliott, an extraordinary man, good friend, and I know you're going to continue enjoying this show. So hang with us, and we'll see you on the other side.
Find out more about Patti's healing work and the work of other practitioners she's trained at patticonklin.com. That's patticonklin.com.
This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now on Roswell in the 21st Century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st Century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st Century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
Shamanism is recognized as a method to access the quantum level. Mastery of shamanic skills puts spiritual information and healing power into your hands. Path Home Shamanic Art School, a bonded Colorado certified occupational school, has met rigorous state standards, ensuring its director and instructors have the qualifications to teach the shamanic arts. Path Home offers its certification program in blocks of study. Block 1, a 5-day intensive, will be held in the beautiful mountain town of Coaldale, Colorado, October 13th through 18th. Registration deadline is September 12th. Experience journey trance, power animals, helping spirits, sacred space, and life purpose. Come discover your power. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magical world of shamanism. Call 303-775-3431 or visit findyourpathhome.com.
Hi everyone, this is Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics, and my wonderful guest today is Ken Elliott. And you can reach Ken through your website. Ken, what is that?
www.manifesting123.com.
123.com. And when you look at the cover of the book, it's Manifesting 123, and you don't need the 3. And I love that because it helps people understand that, life continues on. So continue your story, because we were talking before we went to break about you manifesting the columns and the drapes and so on.
Yes, and I want to set a tone here, and I don't have any ego in this because this information is not mine.
Uh-huh.
I learned it from William and Judy, Patti, and time and time again. And so I get to say this. This may be the most important program you've ever listened to, because as best I can tell, the two most basic things in this universe, our two most basic gifts, are simply this. We can create life, and we can create everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And in this book, for the first time, the information is there that tells you how this works. Because up to this point, with hundreds and hundreds of books, and I support everyone that's talking about prayer and manifesting, all of that. And I'll separate prayer from manifesting, because
okay.
I don't know that I certainly haven't seen the prayer department, but on the manifesting, a lot of experience in that. And we can make anything, but no one ever explained how it happens.
Uh-huh. So
we're going to stop petitioning light switches and water spigots. When you go up there and hit the switch, it's going to happen.
Right.
And no one explained why that happened. So that's what we're going to do. So
okay.
In my early days, I'm there, and I'm going back. You're sitting next to me, and Judy's up there lecturing, and I was decorating the room in thought with Roman columns and swagged fabrics and all this sort of stuff, and the potted plants, of course. And later at dinner, I said, well, did you see the things that I made? Because I did a stupendous job of interior work on that, And she said, listen, there's a lot of people that come to these lectures. They pay good money. They drive some distance. There are people from the other side that come to these lectures. And you're just one person. And there's a lot of intention in the room to have the room as it is. And if you want to do those potted plants, yeah, that's fine. But you can't take over the room because there's just too much other group intention.
Right.
It's 100 to 1. So it ain't going to
true.
happen, buddy. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I put that in my pocket. But, I was continuing to send things to Judy over the years. And on occasion, I would dream up some whopper, and I'd send it to you as well. And you got it 100% of the time.
Yeah. And
I won't go into all of the things that I sent. I mean, they're all benign, regular things. One was very, very extraordinary, and I'm not going to get into that metaphysical Pandora's box with that one. But it was not, all of these things were seemingly impossible. They were simple objects or complicated things. And you and Judy got them 100% of the time because you can see thought taking form.
Right.
And once you know that, and then when you sit back in your chair and think about all the things that have been made on this planet since the beginning of time, things happen on this planet just a couple of ways. God's will or active nature, or somebody thought it up.
Yeah.
And
put those particles in place.
Yeah, I don't think it was destiny that the new Audi, whatever the number of it, came out. Or the new iPhone 7 on a certain date. I just don't think that, I'm just going to take a big fat guess, that wasn't predicted. That wasn't destiny. We get to make these things. So in the book, Manifesting 1, 2, 3, and You Don't Need Number 3, I came highly trained up on this, how thoughts take form. But you know what? I was like everybody else because, see, Patti, you're very special. You're psychic. Judy's very special. You're both very psychic, very gifted. William Buhlman is the leading out-of-body author. He's a writer, for crying out loud. I'm just Ken in Texas, just running out trying to get barbecue and have a good time.
Yeah.
So I never thought that I could embrace the idea that even though I could send something, you would get it, that I could turn this on myself.
Right.
And then I saw The Secret. Somebody said, you got to see this DVD. And so I put it in, and I was in shock. Because here's some people I know the names of, and some I didn't. It didn't matter. They're very well known in their field. And they're coming at how to make things happen all these different ways. Law of attraction, this thing, that thing,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it was solid stuff. But when I turned that thing off, I just had to sit quietly. And I thought to myself, holy cow, these people don't know how this works.
Right.
It's best practices. Yes, if you do this and whistle a happy tune and yada, 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 and stay with it, you increase your chances of it happening. But here it is. This is the core of this radio show. I'm here to tell you, and we're doing a video, and Patty's just doing the head bob. Well, I'm saying the head bob. Yeah, and your thoughts take form. And this is Patty's world. It's not my world, too. I don't see it as Patti does, as Judy does, as William Buhlman does. And they're not even the only ones, but it takes an extreme amount of giftedness or other side access to this place where you can see your thoughts forming up. But they are forming up all around you, and anything you repetitively think of, it's taking form.
Yeah. So
Period.
how did you put this into structure? Because we've talked about this before. My gift I've had my entire life. Judy's had her, Bill's had his. How did you put this in the structure that made it possible for the average person to really get it? Because from your book, people are really getting it. So
Yes,
how did you
are.
take that structure and put it into something tangible?
Okay. Well, it started because somebody else is going to write this book, right? Somebody out there knows how this works. They're going to write about it. Once I knew I could turn it on myself, I was making things happen. I had a circle of friends, and then it seemed wherever I went, either I wouldn't shut up about it, or somehow I quit my conversation. It was like magical stuff. For 2 years, I was talking about it virtually every day. And people kept saying, need to write a book about it, need to write a book about it. So I get on an airplane, I'd start to write a book about it, and I'd make an outline with 6 things on it. I'm not writing this book. I'm thinking about it. I'm not really making anything happen. And one day I decided to do it. And it wrote itself because I talked about it so many times. And I was so practiced on getting the point across to people. It was like doing stand-up with the same routine for 2 years, every night for 2 years. I think there's only 8 nights in 2 years, 8 days in 2 years, that I didn't talk to somebody about that. A lot of strangers, mostly strangers. So the title came up on its own, Manifesting 1, 2, 3, that just fell out of the sky. And then I had pretty much an idea. So the number 1 is simply this, and there's more information in the book, but I'll give it away for free. As I told a friend, I'm not going to go the other side and get slapped around for trying to tease you into spending $14.95 with me.
Right.
Here it comes. This is it. Number 1, imagine you're in your future. This has been in the literature, but your thoughts can make the future. Now, this is something I never tried out with you, Patti, or Judy. I was making things in real time. But they can make the future. So let's take full advantage of this incredible tool that can make skyscrapers or ballpoint pens.
Uh-huh.
So imagine you're in your future, and in your future, this is so simple. Whatever it is you desire has already happened. It's already happened. If you're looking for that perfect, I'm not going to say job, if you're looking for that perfect career, just sit on the couch and imagine you're in your future after work, if you like. You don't even have to see the office.
Right.
And you just love that perfect career. My gosh, that you're so appreciated. You're fulfilled. It's just perfect as can be. We didn't mention commutes or wages or uniforms or any of that. And you love that job. And then here's the magical thing. You can empower that. You can put a multiplier on that by saying, I'm so very grateful. And Patti, you can see what gratitude does, what love does to a thought.
Sure.
It amplifies it, right?
Sure, it does. Yeah.
And I'd love to do another program with you where I'm not doing all the talking and you're doing the splaining on this thing. But
I'm loving this. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to work so hard.
Well, I mean, we've known each other for so long, but this is the first time that I get to experience your expertise and what you've developed over the last, 10 years or so. So, I'm loving it. I think that, the key thing that you just said for me is, you're thinking and you're creating, the love job. And the thing is, it's already been created. It's understanding from what I'm hearing is that you're putting out the energy field, the particle field, but also realizing it's already in your present, that it's not out there grasping somewhere. It's really actually already manifesting because of the intent.
It begins when you think it from an unlimited slate of possibilities.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like you have a floor full of Tinker Toys and you decide you want to build a truck. And they start forming up on their own. They start making trucks or the truck.
Yeah.
I did a second edition of the book with a new cover just so I could put this forward in there because this is so incredibly simple. It's difficult to describe. It's so difficult to describe because it sounds too good to be true. So I came up with this. Well, the idea just popped in my head. Imagine you're a genie and you're sitting in your chair and you imagine in your future that you're already in your future. You're a genie in your future. And you imagine, I was going to look around. I have a perfect career. Oh, yes, I'm in my perfect home. Oh, I love that. Yes, my perfect partner is reading in the other room. And you repeat that thought once a day. And with every one of those scenes, I call it a movie because anybody can do a movie.
Right, sure.
We all watch movies. Nobody flunks movie watching. Right. So you imagine a scene in your movie in your future, but the key is it's already happened. And don't specify how it got there. And if you want to specify something that seems impossible to you, and I've got a story coming out Friday. What day is that? This coming Friday. This thing's airing next week.
Right.
Yeah, you go back. Somebody did a lottery number. I've been waiting for this thing. Somebody did the lottery thing, and it took 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do a lottery, do anything. Anyway, so imagine you're a genie. When you think it, it starts to take form.
Yeah.
And Patti can see it, and Judy can see it, and William can go to the other side. He can see it.
Yeah.
And I remember when William, he would make lists. William's a guy's guy. These guys don't make lists, Yep. They go to the grocery store and wing it, and they come back with half the things they're supposed to come back with, and their wives get upset with them. But he is a list-making expert.
Yeah.
And he would tell me what's on the list, and he would do this list thing every day, and he could go to the other side and watch these things take form. And that was a fantastic thing that got the whole ball rolling. Right.
I mean, Beelman is extraordinary in his world, and I'd love to get him on the show. I'm gonna need to send him a note. I haven't talked to him in years, and get him to come on also and give that piece in there because he definitely has a unique way of looking at the world and always has ever since we've known him.
Well, he's going to the other side through dimension, space, and time, and sitting down with him is like talking to Columbus or Magellan.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's pretty amazing. So, folks, this is Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between. My guest is Ken Elliott, dear friend from long ago. His book is Manifesting 123. You don't need the 3, and his website is manifesting123.com. We'll catch you on the other side.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, High Tech with Corey Kay, and every minute of the 24/7, 365 programming of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 712-432-9459, courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. call 712-432-9459 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 712-432-9459 for the best of paranormal, new age, thought-provoking, sci-fi radio programming 24/7, 365.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for continuing to listen to this awesome program. This is Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between, with dear friend Ken Elliott, who is author of the book Manifesting 123 and You Don't Need the 3. And while we were at break, I was asking a question or making a statement, and Ken told me I was making it too complex, and I'm all about simplicity. So I'm gonna ask it again so he can explain it in a more simplified way than what I'm understanding it. So what I heard Ken say is that you create by your words and your visualization and so forth your future, what you want to have happen, but that it's already happened. It's already been put in play. And you said that was too complex and to simplify it. So simplify that for me, please.
Okay. Well, it's like that genie thing. When you start to think it, it literally starts to take form. And what does it look like, Patti, to you? Like a puff of smoke, like a vapor.
Right. Sure.
And if you stay with it, it gets more and more solid. You can see the intentions of people. You can see things around them in play. And what they've been doing is they've been repeating a thought. It could be a worry.
Right.
It can be a good thing. It can be a so-called bad thing. Your thoughts are a natural law. So we can pick up our coffee cup and hold it straight out and let it go.
Right.
It's going to crash to the ground every time because gravity is a law.
Yeah.
And gravity doesn't care if you're going to throw it at somebody or just let it fall to the floor. It doesn't judge. All gravity does is pull things to the ground. And your thoughts are a natural law, and all thoughts do is make anything you think of. All you have to do is repeat the thought. And if you want to make it happen more efficiently and quicker, then every time you have the thought, you put one of the two great powers in the universe behind it, love or fear.
Right.
And they will amplify it. So we're in the number one. So we're in our future, and we're going to go to Istanbul.
Okay.
Oh, let's go to Washington, D.C. All right. Well, let's go to Washington, D.C. Everybody can speak the language. We're going to Washington, D.C. And so I'll get on the couch, and I'll just sit there in my comfy chair someplace, and I'll close my eyes, or sometimes I'm just driving. You know, I'm busy. I'll do this when I'm driving if I have to. I don't have to visualize it, the point I'm making. And I can say, visualize it if I want to, eyes closed. I'm in my future, and in my future, I'm in Washington, D.C. And I just love it. I'm there on an outdoor cafe. I'm having a very nice dinner. Friends or no friends, whatever detail I want to put in, I'll put it in every time. And at the end of that scene, I'll say, I'm so grateful. If I'm driving, I can say, oh, you know, I just loved, I'm in my future.
Right.
And I love my trip to Washington, D.C. I love the experience that I had there, and I got to see this and that and that. And I'm in my present time right now, and I'm talking about a trip that I haven't taken yet. But I'm manufacturing that trip. So your thoughts are not burdened by time.
Right.
If we're going to go to Chicago, then you manifest the idea that you are in Chicago.
Yeah.
And you're watching the Cub game, or whatever it is you want to do in Chicago. But do not say, well, I can't afford to fly, so I'm going to get on a bus, and it's going to take 1.5 days to get there, and I won't sleep because it makes 79 stops between Denver and friggin' Chicago.
Right.
No. You put it in your future, and you're in Chicago, and your thoughts will make that. It doesn't need our teeny-weeny brains on this. It will just make Chicago.
Right.
The perfect partner, you're sitting on the couch, or you're in the kitchen, and you're there at the counter, and your perfect partner gives you a hip bump.
Yep.
Do not look at your perfect partner, because then you're going to cut into the range of possibilities exponentially. You want perfect is your desire. You know perfect when you see it. Leave it to that.
Right.
People call it the universe. People call it this, call it that. But I'll give you this. Best I can tell, this is a gift from the top.
Yeah.
This is the way things work. If you're an atheist, gravity does what it does. Thoughts do what they do. Or God Almighty said, I'm just not going to sit around here. I got a lot of television to watch. I'm going to let them make their own stuff.
Right.
You know, it's not going to get involved in a lot of this stuff.
Right.
And we can make anything we please.
You know what this reminds me of? Going way back when, the different times, you know, when I would lose a piece of jewelry, and I would say to you, it's not gone because I can feel the edges of it. Okay. It's somewhere nearby. I can feel the edges of it. Yeah. And the more that the edges became firm, the closer it was. And then one morning I'd wake up and I could just literally feel this insubstantial ring, and I would go to my jewelry box and the ring would be sitting on top of my jewelry box. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminds me of, is just knowing that it's there. I hadn't quite, and that's usually what happens with jewelry, not so much in other things. But when I think about that, it's like actually creating, knowing the ring is nearby, feeling the edges of it, so I know it's close. And continuing to feel the edges, not thinking, oh, gee, where did I leave it? Is it underneath the couch? Nothing, no thought whatsoever, but feeling it until the morning that it shows up on my jewelry chest. Yeah, that's a fascinating story. Now, here's one more practical. Yeah. The everyday. Everything in your room was a puff of smoke first. Right. If you have a plant from the nursery, somebody had to invent a nursery. Right.
Somebody had to get that insured and labeled, and so you take a piece of paper. That was a tree. Now, how many tens of thousands of man-hours of thought go into getting the land, cutting the tree down, putting it in a truck, bonding, insuring, all this labeling and process. Oh my God, it's
right.
It's fantastic. And your pen was oil, a mile down. These are all just layers and layers of thought.
Right.
So that's number one. You simply go into your future, imagine it's already happened as a scene in your movie, and express the gratitude for that thing, and then move on to the next movie. And if you want to put a lot of detail in it, then your thoughts will make that detail. It is extremely literal over there. It's like typing the letter D on a computer. D, 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 that's all it's going to do. So you don't have to be literal. You express the thing that's already happened in your gratitude. Now, the number two of manifesting 1, 2, 3, and you don't need number 3 is worry. Worries are a thought. And thoughts don't judge. They're going to make the thing that you repeat. And it doesn't know the difference. It's not designed to care about the difference. Things that were bad in our lives years ago turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened. So somehow it's designed not to care, doesn't even judge it. So if I'm concerned about my tires are getting balder and balder and balder, I can manifest a bad end on that. Not being able to pay bills. Oh my gosh, what is that funny little spot on my thumb? I always pick a different part of my body. Oh my God, is that cancer? Oh, I got to show everybody. Is that cancer? Is that cancer? If I think about it over and over and over, I can make cancer on the end of my nose if I want.
Sure.
We're all going to die of something. We're not going to get total cures out of this, but along the way, we can improve our lives, or we can just sit in a pool of mud with it. And so we can't afford, I would offer, we can't afford to take these things we don't desire and repeat them and put fear behind them, because that's the most efficient way to make it happen.
Right.
So a great way to do this, and this was given to me because I got my perfect house and ran up a lot of money on the American Express bill, and I had a big fat bill coming at me, and I had a friend here that's the number one real estate agent out here, going through her savings because nothing's selling at the pit of our Great Depression.
Right.
And we are going to our future and doing stuff, and we've got this thing by the tail, right? We didn't know anything about this number 2, how to handle this fear. I'd read a lot of things, I heard a lot of things. Don't touch it. It's a third rail. Don't think about it. Have a beer if you like. There are more helpful things than that, but it just didn't get to the core of it for me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day of sweating this out, I gave up thinking about it, and this paragraph of information came in, and it completed the book. Wow. And what I got was, I didn't hear it, but I clearly got this phrase: take action on your worries.
Take action on your worries.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I didn't have a clue what that meant.
Yeah. Enlighten us, please.
Yeah. And I just sat there like, what? And then the paragraph fell in. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you have a concern. We have a concern. I've got a concern. My ankle's been hurting. It's getting chronic. Oh, boy, that thing hurts. And I'm from Texas, and I'm not going to the doctor until my foot falls off, right?
Right.
But man, it hurts, and I'm rubbing that thing, and I'm not sleeping, and it's on my mind all the time. And I have a thought about a very bad possibility with my ankle, any number of things, and I'm loading it up with fear.
Yeah.
Fear this can happen, fear of going to the doctor, fear it's going to cost me money. Wow, I have all kinds of fear I'm sticking on this thing.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm making it as efficiently as I possibly can, that something bad can happen. So let's take action on this. Let's call it what it is the fear. Let's take action on this worry, this fear. Get the smartphone, turn on the light, get a piece of paper. Number 1, I'm going to call the doctor. I'm going to get on my smartphone, make an appointment, a little chime for me, a little reminder. Call the doctor at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Now, if I wake up, my foot's fine, I'm not calling the doctor. But if it's hurting, I'm calling the doctor at 9 o'clock. I'm going to take action on this. I'm going to do something.
Right.
If it's money, all right, I'm going to make a reminder, ask the boss for a raise. I don't like that one. Contact some people who owe you money. Well, if they had it, they'd probably pay it. I hate that too. But you know what? I'm taking action on this lack of money. Instead of sitting around with the
worrying
idea
about
that
it.
I don't have it
Right.
and load it up. I'm going the other way.
Right.
I'm taking action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll look for other jobs.
And certainly throughout all of my years of work and knowing each other, I've always said, the body's incredibly literal, and it makes truth out of what you're thinking and saying. And if you're going into that worry fear mode, then your body's not sitting there going, oh, I know you don't want that, so I'm going to ignore it. Your body's going to say, well, this is what you're thinking about, this is what your focus is, and so therefore it is. And what you're saying is it's not that we don't have worry or fear at times. It's just take action on it so that you're not sitting back wondering what to do or feeling stagnated or paralyzed by not doing anything.
You might have an action list of 4 or 5 items. You can't get them all done today. But you know what? At the end of the day, here's what happened. You went to the future, and in your future, this problem doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And you're so grateful.
Right.
Your thoughts are starting to make that. The next thing is you've run off as many of these things on this list that you can do, these action items, so that you're not worried. Well, you're still going to worry about this stuff, but you work it all down. You do what you can do, and you pat yourself on the back at the end of the day because, I asked the boss. I looked at other jobs. I got the doctor's appointment. That's all I can do for the day. And you know what? You can take the rest of the day off. That is all you can do. Let's send it up for prayer. Oh yeah, go there too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, so much information. Folks, this is I'm interviewing Ken Elliott, Manifesting 123, and you don't need the 3. His website is manifesting123.com, and I encourage all of you to get there, look at his website, order the book, and really begin shifting and altering your perceptions and how you're changing your future. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. This is Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between.
As host of Dialogue with Divinity, I am thrilled to join the X-Zone Broadcast Network and their growing number of affiliates. My quest for a connection to the divine ignited my successful career path as an international spiritual counselor for over 40 years, an author of 4 books, and well-known metaphysical educator. My clients call me their spiritual mama. So my job is to offer you a radio show to help you grow spiritually with wisdom and get specific tools from guests who are experts in their field. Tune in to Dialogue with Divinity and be part of the conversation with Spirit. My goal, your happy soul. For more information, please visit my website at johannacarroll.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandle.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net. This is Kevin Randle. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandle.blogspot.com.
What Happened in Benghazi is revealed by Nicholas Genix, author of Obama, Islam, and Benghazi. He informs the American people that President Obama deceived them by advocating a strong foreign policy prior to the 2012 presidential election, and Hillary Clinton supported this deception. As the title infers, there is a connection between Obama, Islam, and Benghazi. Ample evidence informs Americans that Obama's early indoctrination in the Quran developed an affinity for Islam, why the Quran is the source of discontent in many countries, and why the Obama foreign policy deception led to poor military action and caused the loss of American lives in Benghazi. Genix provides 36 questions for the Select Committee on Benghazi to validate if Americans are justified to mistrust President Obama and Hillary Clinton. An overview of Obama, Islam, and Benghazi is presented on the website www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Afterlife expert Roberta Grimes was the first one to say that dying can be fun. Now her best-selling book, The Fun of Dying, is available in stores worldwide. So if you wonder whether death ends life, how it feels to die, or what heaven might be like, The Fun of Dying was written for you. And if you have always been afraid of death, or if you worry that your life has no meaning, let The Fun of Dying ease your fears and bring new meaning to your life. Nothing said in The Fun of Dying is based on the teachings of any religion. Instead, Roberta draws on evidence to explain how death happens, how it feels, and what comes next. A lot of the best death-related evidence was produced in the first half of the 20th century. When it is put together with recent discoveries, it tells a consistent and amazing story. Roberta Grimes blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Her wonderful book, The Fun of Dying, is available on Amazon and at stores worldwide wherever books are sold.
You're back with Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between. My guest today is a dear friend, old friend, Ken Elliott, who has written Manifesting 1, 2, 3, and you don't need the 3, and Amazon #1 bestseller, and I think you've gotten a few awards on that. This came out maybe 2 years ago,
3 years ago now, I think, going on 3.
Right?
Almost 3.
Right. Almost 3 years. So I'd like you to go ahead and read us a chapter or a little paragraph on the book that you wanted to share with us before we keep going.
Okay. The book's available as a paperback, an audio book. I read the book, and I'll do a little piece of that with that southern accent thing going on.
Beautiful.
And you can also download it for Kindle or iPad, so it's available everywhere in every way. The last thing in the book, I called it Last Thoughts. Is life not going your way? Are you overburdened with problems and personal issues? Is your relationship a mess? I will gently offer that most of the responsibility falls on you. For the most part, you have decided to be right where you are. You have brought yourself to this point of being happy or miserable. Some of life is inescapable, but everything else is a response to the choices you make. You have been empowered since birth to create. You have been creating all your life. Whatever position you're in today, it's all right. It's all right. Perhaps somebody told you what you can do. Maybe you never heard it enough or in just the right way about the great gift you have to create anything. You have a new future beginning in 1 minute. You now have a way out, a method to change the arc of your life. 50 seconds now. Every minute is an opportunity to make a new future. 40 seconds now.
Wow. Love it. I was looking at my timer and counting down as you were doing that. I was hoping you were going to take me down to 0 and my beautiful houseboat would turn into even a more beautiful houseboat. You know, the thing I love about what you're saying is and we haven't, I don't think we've emphasized it enough. I'm so grateful. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be the theme after every representation or visualization or whatever is, I am so grateful.
Yes. When I was sending things to you and Judy, I didn't do any gratitude. I just crammed it.
Yeah.
You know, I just concentrated on it. And I'm not good at that. I'm crummy at this. I'm the guy that wrote this book, but I'm crummy at it. I sit down and do my movie, and I fall asleep. I don't get it done. I put it off. You know what? It's the most important thing I can do every day. And I'm like everybody else. I'll put it off, and then it's after midnight, and I go, oh. You know, and I'll get calls. Every once in a blue moon, Judy will call me and say, that thing you're working on is going to smoke. Do you care about it anymore? I was checking in on you on the other side. Right. I say, yeah, I'm letting that go. Or something that I've been working on, so you're doing good with that, but you're entangling it with fear about money.
Right.
You need to take action on this money thing, because you're like everybody else in the world. You manifest things beautifully. We don't need training to be good at breathing. We just breathe.
We just breathe.
And we just make things, and you can see it. And I love to watch your head bob, and we're talking about this stuff. I'm gonna have to get a doll of you and put it in my car. So on the website, I have these newsletters that come out every Friday. Virtually every Friday. Every once in a while, I'll do an editorial piece, maybe one a month or less, and I'll do some recaps of some of these fantastic stories. A lot of people need, and I don't like to use the word need because that declares that you're needy. They desire a car. And cars come in all kinds of ways. People get back to me, I put it in my movie about this perfect car. I just specified that it was perfect for me. It didn't have to be a such and such model and new and all that. And they were gifted one. Or somebody saw one when the garage door opened across the street. The perfect used one they've been dreaming about.
Right.
One person got in a tremendous hailstorm last month, and her car, it looked like, can you imagine hail that goes through a plate glass window?
Wow.
Riddled. It had like 12 holes in the back. I didn't even see the picture of the front. It looked like it had been shot up. She got a new car. It was all dented up. She wanted a new car. She got it. It worked out for her. So another person, their garage and apartment flooded. She got the new car.
Wow.
Cars that fall out of the sky. People are getting their bills paid. I just got one yesterday. $6,000 to the penny. That's what was required. Put it in the future, and a check came out of the blue. Something with the mortgage company.
Yeah.
Refund, overpayment, and I don't know what it was. I haven't read through the whole story yet. They just keep coming in. To the penny, $6,000. That's real money. There's the lottery thing. I had one, it's funny. I'm just like everybody else. I'll have this problem, this thing that's nagging me. I like to use the example. There's a barking dog next door, which I don't have. Bark, 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 bark. Bark,
Yes.
bark, 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 bark. And I'm going to manifest that dog's not barking. I'm thinking, am I killing the dog here?
Right. That was my thought.
Yeah, I really don't want to be doing this. But what happens is, usually, And this could be with an ailment. This could be with some financial concern, this and that. But we use the barking dog as an example. So you're having a dinner party, some people over, and that dog is barking its fanny off.
Yeah.
And somebody says, "My God, what's with that barking dog?" And you realize you haven't been hearing the dog. Nothing changed but you internally.
Exactly.
And that'll often happen. There'll be an internal shift. People are waking up with less stress. People like to talk about the law of attraction.
Right.
The law of attraction is a side effect of the thought, of the initial thought.
Exactly.
So people are having these incredibly beautiful futures, and they didn't specify this particular thing I'm going to mention, but they wake up and they call me, sometimes a little too early in the morning, and they say, "Ken, I'm at the office. I can't believe it. I woke up with less stress.
Yes.
I woke up happier than I've ever been since high school." There's another call. And then they'll say this crazy thing, "I know it's permanent."
Mm-hmm.
There is no
right. It's not a fleeting fancy. It's permanent.
And it's internal.
Yeah.
They get that it's permanent, and it didn't come as a result of buying a new dress or getting money in the mail. They woke up with this internal change. And after hearing one of those, I see a lot of people. I love to. Did I mention barbecue at least twice already?
At least twice.
Yeah. And so I was putting on a couple pounds. I've been out of town and living it up with that Mexican food and the barbecue. And I was sitting there at the Nook table, and I started to put this in my future. In my future, I'm at my perfect weight. And I'm so very grateful. And I also said that it came with an ease and a grace. So I'm not going to the hospital and losing 15 pounds.
Exactly.
Put that qualifier in there. And that's the only qualifier I use, by the way. Everything comes with an ease and a grace. And it was about 2 weeks later, I'm back at the same table, and there was this click. Now, there wasn't a sound, but I swear I heard a click, even though there wasn't one. I looked over the refrigerator, and I thought, you know what? I just don't have the desire to eat sweets the way I used to. And those 4 Cokes a day kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm certainly not going to start jogging and doing all these, go see do things in the fitness gym and all that. I just stopped. I didn't have the desire. It just cut back.
Right.
And it was 8 pounds went away in 2 weeks.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was crazy.
It's really changing the perception. Changing the perception internally. I'm sitting here with memories of and the irony of when you would have a house and I would come visit. Maybe I was out there doing a workshop or we were going to do a gig together, whatever. And I remember in your last house, you had just purchased it. And we had gone in, I was out there and you said, "All right, pick out your bedroom." And my vision's always, I want the bedroom and then I want the big room and I want my coffee machine right there and that little kitchenette and a nice view. And I walk downstairs and there's the bedroom and there's the sitting room and there's my coffee maker. And I'm like, yep, there we are. That's my space when I go visit Ken. And it was everything that I knew it would be.
How about that?
Everything that I knew it would be. Manifesting without even knowing I was manifesting. All I knew was that we've known each other for years and my bedroom needed to be this certain way. And you just said, go pick out your bedroom. Go pick out your bedroom. There's 2 downstairs. You pick out yours. And I did.
There's been a lot of conversation with people like, they said, "I'd love to have a second house. I'd love to have a place in Colorado or something." And I'll say, "Really? So what do you want?" And they tell me all of this stuff. We do desire. And I'll say, "Okay, you have that." I go, "What do you mean?" You say, "Just come stay at my place." Think about it. How many houses friends say, "Come over anytime," and you do the same. How many millions of dollars of houses do you have? Tens of thousands of equivalent of hotel stays, this and that. Even if you're flying a couch to somebody's place,
Yep.
It's fabulous. It's just fabulous.
Yep.
And people are making.
It is.
And I should put this in.
Yeah.
There is the equivalent of all these things. There's equivalent of health. If you want a reduction in this thing, or you need the equivalent of money to pay the bills, it'll spend like money. It's not always money. It's not always the lottery. Get off. It has to be this exact thing. In your future, it's done. And watch the many interesting way it comes in. Go up to the manifesting123.com, get on that newsletter, There's almost 200 stories up there. It's a lot more fun than watching another rerun. And it's all there to give you the confidence to do this and start making changes in your life starting today.
And know that you're grateful. Thank you so much. Patti Conklin, Quantum Physics to Metaphysics with Life in Between with Ken Elliott. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's my honor. Thank you.